Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Saturday. Now, in just a few minutes, we're going to have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin join us to give us a look at the rest of the weekend forecast and looking ahead to next week. But right now it's Saturday, so we're focused on tonight and we're focused on the weekend. We have our reporters already out and about all over Metro Atlanta. We didn't have an early newscast tonight, but you can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV and 11 on CBS. Or, of course, you can always stream us like you're doing now, or from our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. We certainly want to have you covered on all platforms at all times. So we want to start out here with some somber news. It was a dark day in Metro Atlanta 3 years ago, and we have reporter Joshua Skinner, who went to a vigil today in Norcross to honor the lives lost in the Atlanta spa mass shootings. We have some video of the scene from that day. Today marking 3 years since 8 people were killed in a shooting spree at 3 different spas all around Atlanta. The community planning that vigil to honor them today. A man is currently serving a life sentence for that shooting in Cherokee County, but still has to be tried in Fulton County. 8 people lost their lives that day. 6 were women of Asian descent. And Atlanta is one of 4 cities that are hosting a gathering today to remember Asian Americans who were lost to violence. Activists gathered at the state capitol this week to remember the victims and to demand change. Again, that vigil happening today at the Korean Community Center in Norcross. These images here from those various scenes. But reporter Joshua Skinner, he's going to have more from the vigil later on tonight. He's out there right now and certainly remembering those 8 lives lost 3 years later. And taking you back out here live to another life who was remembered today, Naomi King. It was her service today, honoring her life. I apologize, we don't seem to have the correct video there, but we have a full story on atlantanewsfirst.com, and tonight Bridget Spencer will have more from the service honoring her. And she had passed away at the age of 92. It was a celebration of life at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. She's a civil rights activist and sister-in-law of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She was the wife of Reverend Alfred Daniel Williams King, a Baptist minister and the younger brother of Martin Luther King Jr. She was matriarch of the family known as the Butterfly Queen. She was a civil rights activist, a beloved mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and described as a beacon of light to the churches and the communities that she served. So again, we will have Bridget Spencer bringing us more from her homegoing service today. It has been it was a big day yesterday in terms of the decision in the disqualification hearing of Fani Willis. We have reported extensively here at Atlanta News First ever since January, when the initial motion was filed by one of the defendants in the election indictments, Michael Roman. Since then, that has started this investigation into Willis and, at the time, her alleged romantic partnership with prosecutor Nathan Wade. That was then confirmed, and there were about 2 weeks of testimony in which Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee was going to decide if there was any financial misconduct, any other misconduct as a result, if she financially benefited from this partnership. Willis hired Nathan Wade, and the two took expensive trips together. This is all from the testimony, and people had speculated, they alleged, that as a result, Willis was financially benefiting from his hiring. As the judge determined yesterday, there was not enough evidence to prove that, but he did say that District Attorney Willis would either have to step down from the election indictment case or that she would have to fire Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Well, Wade ultimately made that decision for her, and he resigned about 2 hours later. Now, this is not over yet. As many legal experts we spoke with at Atlanta News First explain, there are likely going to be appeals. The attorney for former President Donald Trump here in Atlanta, Steve Sadow, he already said that he's going to appeal because he said that, in his opinion, the ruling did not go far enough, that he said he was going to do everything in his power in order to throw out the charges in the election indictment case altogether. Also, there is a state Senate committee that is investigating District Attorney Fani Willis. That was voted on a couple of weeks ago in order to form this committee to confirm that there was no misconduct, that there were no financial wrongdoings. And when we spoke to the head of that Senate committee yesterday via Zoom, which we'll show you in just a minute, he was saying that he wants to know if they need to set a precedent for other future district attorneys, if there are more laws, more guardrails that need to be put in place to prevent this type of thing from happening again. So we have a look ahead at what is coming next and why people may still be asking District Attorney Fani Willis about her partnership with Nathan Wade. After weeks of testimony,
our relationship wasn't a secret, it was just private.
And at times heated back and forth.
It is a lie. It is a lie.
Friday, Judge Scott McAfee ruled Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis must step down from the election indictment case or fire her special prosecutor and former romantic partner, Nathan Wade. Wade ultimately resigned, saying in part, "I am offering my resignation in the interest of democracy, in dedication to the American public, and to move this case forward as quickly as possible." As a result, trial attorney Jamara Edwards Shipp says this could mean delays in the election case involving former President Donald Trump.
I don't think that this case will see trial before the election. There are just way too many variables.
Trump's Georgia attorney Steve Sadow said the ruling did not go far enough, vowing to use every option available to dismiss the alleged election interference case.
They want to make sure that he made sure that he applied the principles of law in the correct manner. And they're going to send that up to the Court of Appeals. And it may even go to the Georgia Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, a state Senate committee investigating Fani Willis over alleged misconduct or financial improprieties is thinking of its next steps.
We'll make recommendations at the conclusion of our investigation and our studies as to whether we need to change the laws. Do we need to build in more guardrails to reassure the public that prosecutors will be acting in the interest of the public?
Senator Bill Cowsert is the committee's chair and maintains this is not a partisan matter, but one of public trust.
What we want to make sure is that the public doesn't begin to believe that prosecutors are simply politicizing the process, weaponizing their offices for political purposes.
This committee does not have the power to punish Willis, but can issue subpoenas and call witnesses to testify, a process Cowsert says could take months. Now, according to legal experts we spoke with, there is a 10-day window to file those appeals. Ms. Willis, in theory, could appeal. However, it may not behoove her to do that, considering she does get to stay on the case. And at this time, the charges that are against the defendants will remain. So, Atlanta News First, we are going to continue to stay on top of any and all developments regarding this. And if you want to read more, you can go to atlantanewsfirst.com. Just search the story. We have plenty. Even if you just go to our homepage and scroll right down, we have you covered. I did see a couple of people joining us here. Wesley, he is watching from Ackworth. Michael Williams, he's watching from Louisiana. Thank you guys for joining us. Wesley commenting, saying that he lives less than a mile from the spot on Georgia Highway 92 or West Alabama Road in Cherokee County. I'm sure that's a very surreal feeling, and so sad to say that it was 3 years ago that these areas were crime scenes, and now hopefully those families moving to a place of healing and again honoring the lives 3 years later. And we're going to have more on that tonight. I do want to bring us to why I'm wearing this green jacket today. I know that technically it is tomorrow that is St. Patrick's Day, but we were feeling the luck of the Irish a little bit early here at Atlanta News First. And that's because we helped to take part in the St. Patrick's Day parade. And, that's not the right super, is it? But I was there. Anchor Blair Miller was there, Savannah Louie, First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin was there, Patrick Pete, Courtney Jacobazzi. We had you covered. And, of course, our very own Monica Pearson was Grand Marshal of the parade. So much fun. Great to get out there. It was an awesome crowd, and it was a beautiful day for it. Did you know this is actually the city of Atlanta's longest running event? Yeah, I didn't know that. It's celebrating its 140th year, so things got started around noon today. This was on Peachtree Street in Midtown. There were thousands of participants. There were marching bands, bagpipes, Irish dancers, and leaders actually told us this is one of the largest parades they have had, with more than 100 units and 3,000 participants. So a great day out there. Just so nice to get to hand out some candy, meet people, and have a good time. Like I said, it didn't hurt that it was a beautiful day, too. And we are hoping for more beautiful weather. So let me go ahead and take you outside. Very quickly here, the sun has set. When I was getting this all set up, it was still, I don't want to say quite daylight, but much brighter than this. And we have First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us now. Cutter, it was a great day for a parade.
It was. It felt like spring, looked like spring, felt like spring in the sense of congestion.
Yeah. Are we going to get more spring?
A little bit of spring, a little bit of almost winter as we get into the start of the work week. So we're kind of in that awkward time of year where temperatures do their whole little roller coaster thing. It's not warm consistently. It's not cold consistently. We're kind of dealing with the ups and downs of the forecast. That is the vibe, we'll say, of this week. We have a little something for everybody, which is a good thing, right? At least you have one day that you like. But that also means that the weather is going to be kind of all over the place, and you need to pay attention to the forecast as we go through the work week. So again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here. Want to remind you that we are streaming on many platforms right now, including YouTube. And if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, especially with a weird forecast like this one, if you need any clarification on the day-to-day weather and some of the bigger changes we're expecting here across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, Atlanta News First YouTube account is the place to be. Already watching, or reading, I should say, several comments from Alex and Robin and Wesley and Michael. Thank you all for commenting. Hello to you, Wesley Millsap. Again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, just give me a holler, and I'll be working to answer those. And even if I don't, maybe I miss a question or two here, you can always ask away as well on social media. You can reach out to me at any point. Again, we're kind of moving around some of our weather graphics here, so just bear with me for just a moment. Want to make sure that we get you the images to kind of tell the story. Of course, I can talk and give you the forecast, but a lot to be discussed. And what will help that discussion is just showing you what's happening across North Georgia, Metro Atlanta, and beyond. Outside right now, it's calm locally. We're dry, crystal clear sky at the moment, other than maybe a high cloud or two. That's about it. But to our west, already we're tracking changes. Next storm system on the way. This is what will help bring rain chances back into the forecast tomorrow. Tomorrow, or Sunday, is a first alert weather day. So again, we're tracking widespread rain moving through portions of the southern plains right now, areas that have been plagued by showers and thunderstorms several rounds for the past 48 to 72 hours or so. In fact, we can go ahead and bring radar up full for you, and that's going to be the next batch of rain. Right now it's soaking Dallas, moving into the Shreveport area, soaking parts of the mid-south Mississippi, on its way into Alabama, and then eventually back in our first alert forecast as well as we get into tomorrow morning. So still several hours out, but just want to remind you that changes are on the way tomorrow. We do expect rain for parts of the area. We'll go into who has the greatest chance here in just a moment. Right now, temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60 in Dallas, 60 Marietta, 61 Alpharetta, 66 Atlanta. We peaked in the mid-70s today in Atlanta, so we have cooled back a little bit. but feels nice. In early to mid-March, we can still get cold, and we have a little bit of cold air in that 7-day forecast. And in early to mid-March, remember, we just remembered the 30th anniversary, or 31st anniversary, I should say, of the 1993 superstorm that impacted North Georgia metro Atlanta with not only cold temperatures but extremely strong winds and heavy, heavy snow, feet of snow up in the mountains of far north and northwest Georgia. So it can certainly still be wintry this time of year in this part of the country. But this evening, same cannot be said. Hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures cooling back to the low to mid-60s. And eventually we'll be back in the upper 50s by the wee hours of tomorrow morning. So the night owls out there make it just a little bit cool after midnight, and then we're going to wake up to more clouds. And I do think as early as tomorrow morning, we're going to have that chance of some spotty rain showers back in the first alert forecast, and a time to check the radar. That's tomorrow morning before you hit the plans and really commit to anything too extensive outdoors, because there could be some rain even impacting some of our morning plans tomorrow. Alex in East Point, thanks for watching. Wesley Millsap again. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, give me a holler. And we have been having a Dexter asking some weather questions as well the past few evenings. So again, Dexter, if you are watching right now, thank you for tuning in. And if you do have any weather questions tonight, just give me a holler here. On YouTube, Atlanta News First is the account to like and follow, though we are streaming in many, many places right now, including AtlantaNewsFirst.com, the First Alert Weather app, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube TV, a lot. And I want to remind you that not only can you stream the forecast, but you can always get that hour-by-hour forecast in the First Alert Weather app. Just search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your App or Google Play Store. Speaking of, there is the hour-by-hour. Put this on Instagram earlier and Facebook, social media platforms, and that forecast is always available to you in the First Alert Weather app. It's free, it's an easy download, and it really is a useful tool, especially because the weather tends to vary quite a bit across North Georgia, whether you're in the city, up in the mountains, down heading towards Macon. The weather can really vary depending on exactly where you are, and that app will give you the forecast down to your neighborhood level. So let's talk about out the door tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up to another relatively mild morning, much like this one. Temperatures in the 50s across metro Atlanta. Community by community here. We're going to start with our metro neighborhoods first. Upper 40s in Kennesaw, a little cooler northwest side, with 54 downtown. McDonough 51, 51 Sugar Hill and Lawrenceville 51. Mid-40s in Blairsville 49. Your wake-up number in Canton. Upper 40s Dalton and in Rome. So cool further northwest, but I would say, mild, maybe long sleeve shirt, very light jacket. I was out this morning, getting ready for the parade that Karli was just showing you, and I had just a long sleeve shirt on, and it was more than fine. In fact, it got a little warm after that, first hour or so of the early morning when that sun angle got higher. March sun angle really started to increase out there, and it doesn't take long to warm up at all, and it was pretty warm as early as 10 a.m., 11 a.m., waiting in line for the parade. So just keep that in mind. Temperatures will warm tomorrow, though not as much as today. And that's because of clouds and a chance of rain in the First Alert forecast. We're going to pull up a new graphic here for you. This is our forecast model that will basically take us hour by hour through tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. I just have to search through my literally hundreds of graphics here, weather graphics, to pull up that particular model. So just bear with me here as I keep scrolling. May have accidentally deleted it out of here, unfortunately. Let's see where it is. 1 second. Basically, and I'll just kind of talk about what this model is before I show it to you. We use many tools here to put together the First Alert forecast. And this particular model is just one of many that we use, and this is just one run of that one particular model. So keep in mind, this is just a piece to the puzzle, not necessarily set in stone. For example, we're dry right now, not forecasting any rain. Jumping into tomorrow morning, you see rain. So let's walk you through that process, because it is a process. We're dry now, lots of sunshine, or it was lots of sunshine now, mostly clear sky. But as we go hour by hour, you'll notice the clouds do increase just a bit. especially early tomorrow morning, 1, 2, 3 a.m. One of the reasons why we're mild tonight. Clouds are acting like a blanket, trapping in some of that warmth that we got this afternoon with highs in the 70s at the surface. That warmth cannot escape back up into space, thanks in big part to these clouds moving in tonight. Early tomorrow morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Could be a spotty rain shower or two. I don't think a big impact from our Sunday morning rain. Nonetheless, could be a little bit of moisture around, even going to church tomorrow morning, going to brunch with friends tomorrow morning, trying to get that Sunday run or walk in. Could be a little bit of rain around. Again, First Alert Weather app is a great tool to have. You can make sure that your precipitation alerts are turned on in the app. So even if you start your run and it's dry, if you're streaming music, you're listening to music on your app, you can also be alerted to rain approaching your plans just by clicking this menu upper right-hand corner if you're looking at the app, corner of the screen. And then that's the menu that comes up, and you're just going to click on settings. And then, of course, we have weather notification types, and that's where you will see precipitation alerts, and you can just turn those on. So, again, lots of clouds, relatively mild tomorrow morning, spotty showers. Now, as we get into tomorrow afternoon, I think rain could be a little bit more persistent, hence the First Alert Weather Day. We're going to bring that back in tomorrow, especially along and south of I-20. I think the majority of the steady rain will be south of I-20. Southern Carroll County, Randolph County in Alabama, Troop and Hurd counties, Coweta County, Meriwether County, Pike County, Upson County, Lamar County, getting up into Griffin, and then over to Putnam County. So these southern communities, maybe even up into Newton, Rockdale counties as well, these southern communities will have a greater chance of steady rain tomorrow afternoon, and it is these southern communities that will have a greater chance of having weather impact their plans. It's out of here, though, as we get into about mid-evening or so tomorrow. We're going to see drier conditions move in behind the rain, not just drier, but actually colder as well. In fact, here is that extended First Alert 7-day forecast. We'll pop that up for you because we do have a couple First Alert weather days on the way. One is our St. Patrick's Day Sunday, but also we're tracking an additional storm system that'll move in as we get into later in the work week, and that's going to bring widespread rain and maybe some thunderstorms back to the forecast. Not anticipating much in the way of thunder tomorrow, just scattered showers. Again, wettest south. There will still be some dry time. I think the potential for steady rain, the kind of rain that really impacts your plans and has you adjusting, that's greatest south of I-20 and greatest during the later afternoon, the earliest of the evening hours. Monday, notice how it's colder. High temperatures, upper 50s. We're waking up to maybe some frost in some areas Tuesday morning if we can get just enough moisture for dew to form or frost to form. If we don't see frost, it's only because the air may be very dry Monday night into Tuesday morning. So just keep that in mind, gardeners. If you did go ahead and already plant, maybe just a little bit on the early side of things, you may have to cover your most sensitive vegetation, just the early spring stuff, as we get into our Monday night, Tuesday morning. DC322, that's the avatar we're talking to on YouTube. Hello, watching from Cherokee County. Hopefully you are having a wonderful evening out there. And again, 7-day forecast. Tuesday afternoon is still cool, though technically that warming trend begins Tuesday afternoon. Back up to 70 or so by Thursday. And then, of course, as we warm up, very typical this time of year, you get cold, you get clear, nice and crisp sunny weather. Then you start to warm up, you get the clouds back, and eventually rain is back in the forecast. And Friday is a First Alert Weather Day. I do think that there's the potential, much like Sunday, it's also been a tricky forecast Sunday for the past several days, we may see rain trend further south for Friday's forecast. So for now, First Alert Weather Day, be alert to the potential of rain and some storms impacting your plans. So some data, much like the forecast model I just showed you, is trending a little drier next Friday. We're talking day 6 on that 7-day forecast. That many days out, there is obviously going to be some uncertainty, so just bear with us. We'll keep you updated in the First Alert Weather app, another reason to have it, but also on TV and at AtlantaNewsFirst.com and on streams on Atlanta News First Plus, much like this one. I want to go ahead and wrap it up, noticing not too many questions coming in. I want to thank you for tuning in and remind you that Karli and I are back on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate, here in just a little bit, in about an hour and a half, 10 p.m. Catch us for the full hour. New data coming in by then. We'll walk you through the full First Alert forecast, and we're back on WANF, Atlanta News First, for the late news starting at 11 p.m. Hopefully you can join us then. If not, wake up with Courtney and Megan tomorrow morning. Of course, you'll get your latest First Alert forecast. I want to thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you at 10 p.m.